Hey guys, this is Apostle Ely. I'm getting on here and giving an opportunity. We're going to be talking about what and why would you get a crowning of an Orisha? What's that all about? So as you guys are being notified, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Now y'all know how I do it. You have to post your zodiac sign, where you from, so we know who we talking to. We are waiting on Shadow Wolves to come on, and she's going to be doing the teaching, sharing. She has been crowned Ochosi. So my point is, when it comes to universal laws, that we have a better understanding of the things that we're partaking in. I'm going to be asking her a lot of questions. Y'all know I'm Apostle Ely. I'm a drill sergeant. So I'm going to be asking her questions. If you guys have questions, what's up, Taurus from Ohio? If you have questions, all you have to do is put those questions down there. And if I see them and I feel that they're relevant to what we're talking about, I'll share them. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But let me tell you guys, this is an opportunity not only for me as a practitioner and spiritualist, but for other people to ask questions, because there's a lot of people out here that want to get involved in Lukumi and Santeria and deal with their Orishas, but there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of y'all know I like to use tomfoolery. What's up there, Geneva from Michigan, Leo? Okay, thank you so much. But as we get into this, I hope that many of you guys really understand that base information. Thank you so much. Somebody said, I appreciate you and your gift. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That means a lot. I needed to hear that. But we're gonna bring what's up? We got Jersey Gemini. Okay, got you. But as we get ready to get started on tonight, this afternoon, there's an opportunity for many of you guys. Now, I understand. Let me say this there are a lot of chefs in the kitchen. You would have used one ingredient versus another. You would have used one liquid versus another. We are talking about fundamental understanding. We're not here to tell you how to get crowned. We're not here to tell you who you should get crowned with. What I am here to tell you is have an understanding why that would be significant. What could you do, and what is the point of getting crowned? And how does it affect you as on your journey? Not even you as a spiritual practitioner, because you don't have to be a practitioner to get crowned. If you get a reading and it comes up where your ancestors want you to get crowned, people have gotten crowned for their health, connecting with their head Orisha. We're going to talk about, what's up, Leo from South Carolina? Checking in. That's what I'm talking about. And we got, how do you know what crown is for me? Well, the thing about it is that a priest or priestess are able to do certain divinations. We're going to talk about that when she get on here, but there are priests that are able to do certain divination to indicate what Orisha will claim your head. One of the things that I tell people all the time, whether it's an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, I know you may be fascinated with the Loas. You may be fascinated with the Orishas. You may be fascinated with the ancestors, but the ancestors choose you. The Loas choose you. The Palo spirits choose you. The Mfumbe chooses you. A lot of times we may like or prefer certain things, but when it comes down to it, it's what the spirit is deciding to do. And they know why they're doing it. And if you are truly trying to serve, you're going to comply. You know what I'm saying? We're going to also be asking questions regarding what a madrina is and what a padrino is, and why are they so very, very important to these practices, and the things that you should expect. I think I see mine. Okay. Some of the things that you should expect. And as she get ready, we both had a long day because I just got off. Did me a cleansing bath. My head is Oshun. Okay. Does anybody on here besides me know who you've gotten your guardian angel pulled down? Have you gotten that part? Do you have to initiate to see your Orisha? I'm not gonna say that you have to initiate to see. What I will say, in order to work effectively with the Orishas, you should be a part of the club. I'm gonna say that because there's only so far you can go with any of those practices and rites without the tool that you can only get from a priest or a priestess. Happy Saturday to you. And guys, if you have not joined my YouTube account, please do so, sir and ma'am. There's a lot of information on there. And then when we get through with this live, we're also gonna have I'm gonna have to upload that this live with on YouTube as well. You're quite so welcome. I appreciate you asking those questions. Actually, and while she gets ready to when she says, if you have any questions that you may want to ask, I'm gonna take some notes. Some legitimate questions about Orisha crowning, the concept of crowning, and what does it do to you. Post them, and I'm gonna write them down, and I'm gonna see if I can implement them in my my interview with Shadow Wolves. Be looking questions. All right. Somebody said they have a. You do have a question? Give me your question. What is exactly crowning? Okay. All right. That's a good question. I just want to know if that being I saw is an ancestor or something else. Looks like you need to get a reading, hon. Who is the lady in the back? The lady in the back is my head, Orisha Oya. How do you, wait a minute, how do you spot fraud, godfather, godmother? Godfather. Got you. Is it voodoo? Is what voodoo? No. Yes. Is my name, is your name Stewart? No, my name is Apostle Ely, Samuel Ely. My government name is on my website. I don't have nothing to hide. Is there a way to make your Orisha show? I don't want to use, I understand your question, but I don't want to use the concept. You got to remember that these are deities. Thank you so much for the panda bear. You got to remember, you're not, it's like going to the White House and you're not talking to Biden, but you may be talking to somebody in his cabinet. These are still high officials, because I don't like the word that that you utilize, and I don't think you even meant any harm, but how do you make them show themselves? They will show themselves when they are ready. Same thing about ancestors. There are certain offerings or going to certain ceremonies that someone may be mounted by a spirit or an Orisha that may be a priest or priestess of that particular, or that particular soul has been claimed by that Orisha. Dude. Because I don't like the word using making anything. They're choosing. I believe that when we do destiny readings, or we do types of ebos, or certain depending on the particular tradition, that it's in your blood, it's in your destiny for you to work with certain spirits. So they're just revealing it to you. It's not so much as you trying to make them reveal themselves to you. Let's see. How do you show? And I'm going to say this as well. If you don't know what to look for, even if a spirit reveals himself to you, you won't know what to look for. Can you work with different deities collectively, like Jesus and Orisha? I would say this, that it just like certain family members may be family, but everybody don't work together for the same concept. The concept of Jesus is Jesus Christ. But y'all got to remember, every time you bring Christianity in, you must understand where a Christianity originated from, and it came from Egyptology. So when you're really dealing with Jesus, you're really dealing with Horus and Isis. You know, so actually Isis and Horus. So if you understand the concept and the mythology behind Egyptology, then you can understand how to apply the concepts of Christianity in your spiritual walk. But Orishas are a different part of the African diaspora. So my thing is, just like every dish is not to be mixed and mingled. If you don't understand certain traditions, I don't admonish, especially if you're young in this. Hey, family, I don't admonish you to mix and mingle unless you have a clear understanding of their separate distinction. That's like certain Orishas don't work. Some Orishas you have to work with separately. Okay, I love the way you teach. Thank you so much. Anybody else got any questions? Hey, Rue, and no, that's it. No, I don't. Energy. Are they reincarnated? You want to know if their Orishas are incarnated, reincarnated? I think that's a good question. I think. Hey, how y'all doing? African voodoo and Santeria. Zay, what's the question? All you have is African voodoo and Santeria. Hello, priestess Oya Storm. Is the hold on, y'all. Can you cross? Wait a minute. Let's say, can you cross these two religions? Which religions? Voodoo? No. Loas are not Orishas. No. I'm gonna put that. Can you cross? I know people cross dress, but the reason why y'all gotta understand that it's just like you gotta think about chemistry versus geometry versus I don't know who this is. Keep trying to come. Can you cross these two religions? I saw her. Who did why do Orisha hold on, wait a minute. Why do Orishas have multiple different backstories? Oh, I think that's a really good. Why do Orishas have multiple backstories? And I'm gonna say this. You know, like when we came up, you know, they had terms that say you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. A lot of times when it comes to the Orishas and these stories, it's about certain wisdom, because remember, things about philosophy. With Orisha, wait a minute, with the Orisha choose you even when you do not have a lot of knowledge. Yes. I am multidimensional and was born with multiple gifts. Okay. Trying to figure out, is that a question? That sounds like a statement. Priestess Oya, are you talking to somebody else? It depends on your life path. Wait a minute. Somebody asked a question. I don't think they were clear. Mars, are UFOs tied into them at all? Okay. Keep your questions coming because I'm going to ask it. Yeah. Are UFO tied into the Orishas? Remember, guys, when it comes to when you're utilizing the word UFO, you really are saying extraterrestrial being. There's a lot of anything outside of Earth realm is an extraterrestrial being. Does ancestors work with Orishas? Okay, I like that question. Does the ancestors, and that still would be a yes, because if the reason why you are drawn into those particular ATRs is because of your ancestor. But we're going to still ask that question. My paternal grandmother was Creole, but I have, wait a minute. My paternal grandmother is Creole, but I have been hesitant because I'm perceived as white. Spirits only care about your bloodline. That's what's important. She'll be on here. I want to respect, but I'm drawn to voodoo. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the other resonating. Could a white person be called to work with their Orishas if they have African in their ancestry? Okay, I think that's a good question. Can Shadow Wolves is best to answer that question than white people. But I will say this: if you're going to be practicing ATRs, I believe that you should have respect for the very people that designed it. And I do see a lot of people that practice the ATRs that show absolutely no respect for black men and black women. And I find that just, you could the Pope can sit down and kiss the foot of a black woman, but then you say you practice voodoo or Santeria or Lakumi and show absolutely no respect. That's like a man telling a woman he got it for her, but he don't like her kids. Hold on. And a white person, and a white person, be called to work with the Orishas if they have African ancestry. All right, let's see. My son said someone did voodoo job with him. Sweetheart, you need to get a consultation with me if you want me to deal with voodoo. Today we're talking about Orisha. Hey, how you doing? Sun goddess. How do you, let me see, Jessica. How do you find out who is in your spiritual court? That is done with a reading. And that can be done with somebody in EFA. That can be somebody done in, there are readers. I'll be honest with you, there's readers in every ATR. I believe that if you're a reader, you're just a reader. If you've been gifted with a gift from God, and every reading ain't the same because everybody don't read the same way. But, depending on what type of reading you need, yes, I do read. I'm not going to do it. I've been doing readings all day. I don't have the energy for it. Not today. I done enough. Blessing to you, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, yeah, we she just sent me a message. She should be on momentarily, so we don't have much longer to wait. Okay, but I want y'all to keep spitting out. Much respect to you, John. See, now that, let me tell y'all something, John. The reason why I said much appreciate you, I am praying that more of us practitioners of whatever ATR as men show respect and gratitude and appreciation for other male practitioners. And I'm not talking about egotistical. I'm talking about just general respect. That needs to really come across when it comes down to our practice. Because remember, guys, we're the ones showing people how to behave and how to good, especially when we say we are priests and priestesses of these traditions. My elder, you are a blessing. Thank you. What does ATR stand for? I'm gonna let her tell it. No matter how many times we say it, people still ask that question. A lot of times we don't do our basic studying. I'm a type of person, I believe in studying. I don't wait till somebody tells me something. Spiritual advisor. Thank you. True blessing to all. Thank you. Yes, I do believe in demigods. Half God, half man, absolutely. Somebody said I can Google. Can you Google what? What would make one a demigod? What would make... Try to keep these as close to the Orishas as possible. You know, I like that question by the demigods, but I want to keep it in the confinements because those are the kind of questions I'm going to be asking Shadow Wolves. So she's a priestess of Ochosi. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're new? It's okay. It's really okay. Make sure you join my YouTube. What would make one? And remember, God, when you use the term God, that is a title. That is an aspect of energy. Okay, God, a God principle, God atom, particle. Those that word God can mean a lot of things. Where do Orishas come from? Y'all got some good questions. I like this. Where do Orishas come? I'm writing this stuff down. 1, 2. So I can have. Now someone asked how many Orishas are there? There's so many Orishas because Orishas cover so many different aspects of life. Okay, so that's an open question. I'm gonna write it down here. Many Orishas. It's like in Haiti, when it comes to voodoo, there's so many Loas that people don't even talk about. There's some people working with certain Loa people ain't never heard. Like, just like somebody wrote it. Can I find out my Orisha is? Wait a minute. Can I find out who my Orisha is without getting a reading? No. Let me say this, and I've been doing this a very long time. That's a good question. I'm not going to write that down, but I'm going to answer this question. Anything that you, especially when you are out here in these spiritual streets, you want confirmation of anything that you are professing. Yes, it's good to know what you got, but it's also good for everything that you have to be confirmed by another elder, another priest or priestess. I am very big on confirmation. I don't go out here and just Is Shadow Wolves here? I don't see her. There are 256 Orishas, 256 Odus. I got my head reading. Thank you for your work. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm waiting on her. She just texted me. But she should be coming up momentarily. Oh, she is here? Tell her to invite herself into the live so I can pick her up. Okay, somebody got another good question. What Orisha, because there's Orisha of wealth, but I'm going to leave that for her. It said which Orisha do you petition for job, business, wealth? Now, listen, one of the things we're going to do is educate, right? It's not about trying to trip nobody up or trying to say that you have more knowledge. Because the concept is for younger people and people that are outside looking in, so they can have an understanding, like, if this is the direction I'm going, I need to have an understanding of something. Because we don't have to share the secrets of the Orishas to teach you how to, what to expect in certain aspects of the journey when it comes to being a part of it. You're talking about this mask? I'm trying to see if she's. You guys say that she's in my live, but I don't see her. Invite to go live. Could somebody show her how to invite herself in my live? Because I got other people trying to invite themselves in. And I want y'all to know that a lot of people talk just like Christian talk. As long as I got King Jesus. It take more than that. Who is this? Where is Shadow of Wolves? I don't see her insignia. Why do you let Christians make you cry, priestess? No, I insult them. Christians are taught to be rude and disrespectful. They learn that from their church. They stay in everybody's business. Tell Shadow Wolf she has to go live to be able to do this. You have to go live first in order to connect with my live. There she go. There she go.
Yeah.
He got me?
Yeah. Why is it so small?
I don't know, Isaiah. Help me out. It's okay to see. 1 second. He gonna fix it for me. Look right there. No, you gotta fix this. Fix that part for me. Go like
Yeah, I hear her.
I don't know. I'm always giving problem with these lives.
Yeah, she's
Come
here,
on
guys.
now.
But I don't.
Wait, can you see
Okay,
me?
there. Okay.
But it's
Yeah, I
not
see
big
you.
enough.
Okay, there you
But
go.
why does it look like
Do they have
can
me
you
in a
see me?
small box?
They
Yeah, I
have
think
me in a small
that's
box.
for. I guess that's the new way of how they're doing it, but it's okay. It is
Let me
okay.
see. You can see
I can see you real
Isaiah.
good.
Let me see if I can open it up, my brother. Wait.
Okay.
Let me see something. Can you help me to open this up to be wider, please?
I think it's.
Don't feel bad. I'll call Minister Mario.
Please. Here we go. You can see me now?
I can see you then. It's still in small. I think it's just how they done readjusted it now. Because before we would like be on side by side, but you know,
Yes.
Like it starts like that.
I think
Oh,
that's
he
just
said
a.
it's wait. You said tell him, explain to him.
I
Please
saw
slow
somebody's
down.
live yesterday.
He can't see you. Go in.
I saw somebody's live yesterday that was side by side. They didn't change it. It's just I see some people with lives like this and some people with lives in half.
Oh,
What?
let me see. Let me go to camera. I'm sorry, y'all bear with me. Technology is just always. Let me see. I'm gonna go to camera and see if it could be more side by side.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to. Anybody got suggestions? Let us know, because it's not doing anything here from this end. Any suggestions, y'all? Oh man. You want me to go out and come back in, brother?
No, don't worry about it. We're gonna, cause they are waiting for you.
Okay.
Hold
All
on.
right. Let
I
me.
want to see it.
I really wanted to. I wish I could have this a little bit bigger, man. You know, like.
Yeah. I
Let me see something.
personally can't even guide you.
Okay.
This will be a
Jeez.
mess if I keep messing with it.
I know, me too. That's why.
Well, let me go ahead and introduce you. Some of you guys may know her, and some of you guys may not. She is definitely on social media presence. Her name is Shadow Wolves. She is definitely a priestess of the Ochosi. I have been knowing her for a very, very long time. I know her children, her husband, her dog, Shadows.
Yeah.
She's a very beautiful spirit, very knowledgeable. She loves the religion. We also want to say salutations to you. Hearing about your Padrino, we want to also give honor to his spirit and light and love to him, your Padrino. And all guys, this is an opportunity to bring clarity as much as we can for those that may never get into Lakumi or do Ocha, but have an understanding what to expect. We're going to be talking about, they have so many questions. So I wrote a lot of questions down. So I'm going to be drilling
Okay.
you. So
I
I'm
mean,
going to make it
okay.
easier for you.
Perfect.
Oh, and
Perfect.
so one of the things that we want to do in this live is give you guys an opportunity to be able to hear from somebody that actually practices the religion, has her own godchildren. And this is another thing that I like is that you have a lot of practitioners out there. They want people to be honoring them and submissive to their authority, but they have no authority that they're submissive to. So this is not somebody that's out there isolated from the tradition and solitary. And but she has her, yes, she has her own Elay, but she also is still connected to her own Elay. And this is something that I feel that is very necessary for a lot of us to keep that covering over your head, and also be able to teach other people why it's important and what all the responsibility that come to be a godparent. You know, it's not just doing spells and things like that, but there's a lot of finances, a lot of trying to keep your own personal life afloat, and being a mother, being a wife. You know, it's some people have businesses. They have a lot of things going on that people just do not consider. But one of the things that we're going to start out, my sister, you know, I love you.
I
So I'm
love you.
excited about this.
I just wish
Somebody asked something a very pointed question. What exactly is crowning? When it
okay.
comes to Ocha, what exactly, like, what could you tell us today? Like, if to the lamest term, what's crowning? What is all that about?
So now crowning in Orisha is very, very sacred because this is where your Ori, which is your crown chakra,
Mm-hmm.
aligns with the heavens. And this is not done just by one person. It's not done just by an Oba. It's not just done by Babalau. It's a collection of those who are crowned, who are doing ceremonies to your head. The crown that we see, the physical crowns that you may see in Ross or, you know, on pictures and stuff, the crown is actually your actual head,
Mm-hmm.
aligns with the crown of your Orisha. So in going through this crowning, it's a whole long process. So for example, a Chalavoya, they have to go through 9 churches and so forth and prepare this Orisha to know, as this Orisha is in the seat of heaven, okay? As we
Right.
call Olorun, Olorun is heaven of the sky, the angels. So they are preparing because the person is already prepared spiritually. So
Mm-hmm.
this particular crowning has to do with certain things that they do to our head, where that crown becomes aligned with the Orisha. And when we are crowning, it's what we're calling, and please stop me if anybody has question. When
I
we're
got
sitting, what
plenty.
we call, okay, I'm ready.
Just keep
I
going.
just
Just
wish
I got
I
plenty.
see myself like in the I can't I can see you good though. So the crowning actually deals with preparation spiritually with your spirit guides, meaning
Mm-hmm.
mesas, your ancestors, your egon,
Mm-hmm.
but then you go through the long, arduous process of being involved with many different people who are crowned. So, say for example, when the time comes and you got your crown or ya, Mario Atroci, I'll say, please come over. I'm crowning a Yabo and Obatala, for example. Because you're crowned, and this one is crowned, and he's crowning, and we all come together to bless that person's crown. Crowning is very sacred. It has to do with the blessings not only of Olodumare, of God, but also the blessings of Osain, because we can't do anything without the sacred plants of Orisha. It also has to do with the blessings of spirit. So crowning for us in Lukumi and Santeria is not just 7 days in the throne, but it's actually 10 days of that ceremony, because there's preparation for the river. And this is separate from the mesas and all that stuff. It's just preparation of the river.
I have a question. Why are mesas so important when you're going through this process?
Mesas are important in Lukumi and Santeria because our ancestors have the bloodline of Catholic faith, of also being forced into Islam or Christianity or Hinduism, with all due respect and so forth. So mesas are to give light to those spirit guides that are needed to be seen, or any kind of emergency. Say, for example, my daughter, okay, she's crowned Chango, and she needed the importance of a message of her Francisca. Her Francisca being her Madama, she needed to have that spiritual, that spiritual doll. It's not just a doll, it had to be prepared before she went into being crowned. So there's certain spiritual emergencies or things that we need to do for our ancestors before we go into Ocha, before we go into Orisha faith. Why? Is because the spirit always comes first before Orisha. The Egun always comes first, because the Egun can stop that Santo, that Ocha ceremony at the drop of a hat. Just something weird can come up and they could just put a stop to everything. So we always give homage to our spirits. For example, my padrino, who gave me a Lokun, who gave me Elegua, and who gave me Agayu, he always told me, and I hope that they don't, how do you call it, violate me for cursing. Are you allowed to curse on here? No.
Just go ahead.
Can we curse? He said, the Santo will look at you. They have a place, but if you don't have a house for your Egon, you don't have an altar, you don't have a pot, the Egon will cross their hand and say, fuck you.
Right.
Where's my place in life? So the Egun always comes first. Even before Ocha ceremony or crowning, we're hitting our stick. We're doing Aumba Waori, Aumba Waori, like this, Awado soon. We're giving homage to Egun. We're giving homage to God. So misas are important because that spiritual mass with all those spiritualists that come to your house or to your godfather house before you get crowned, those people can tell you of certain spirit guides that are seen before you go into Ocha. Maybe you have to have a Francisco or Francisca, like that's dressed all in white, that will accompany you into the throne. You see? So misas are important as part of Lukumi.
It sounds like, as I'm listening to how you're explaining it, it's almost like Prince Charles being prepared to be crowned king. You know what I'm saying? You just don't jump into Ocha. You don't just jump getting crowned. There's a process, and there's certain information you need to know before you actually get crowned.
Yes.
And the reason why I brought that up, because we have people like they ask, well, how do you make an Orisha show themselves? Now, me personally, I don't like the word make, because I don't feel like we can make spirits do anything. You know, they can choose. But I understand that they weren't being disrespectful. They were asking questions. I think people are they want to see something, and I don't understand. I don't think they really understand. It's not all about what you see. It's about how you have been chosen. So how would you answer that particular question? Someone asking, how do you make an Orisha appear or reveal itself?
So now, Orisha is in a high seat of heaven, Olodumare. They are in a high seat. So it's the same thing of asking. Even though Orisha comes from the Ashe of Olodumare, they come from the Ashe of God. That's like me saying, how do I get to see God? because Orisha in a high seat, to the point where we have to have either an Obadi or Te call and do the correct prayers for that Orisha to come down and speak in what we call karakos, and what we call the
Okay.
cowrie shell. And they have their hands washed to do so. We also have either Ifa, Babala will say, okay, Yemaya said to do this and do that, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
advice they're giving. Now, we don't necessarily see the Orisha until we go to a tambor or a fundamento, and say, for example, they're playing in a fundamento and anya to oya, and then
Mm-hmm.
boom, your oya is down. Well, that is the Orisha. That's, we see the Orisha because the Orisha are a reflection of ourselves.
Right.
So when you have your crown aligned with you, when people see you, it's not the physical flesh, it's the actual Orisha that is using your body as a vessel to talk and
Okay.
to give messages. Some people do dream with
Mm-hmm.
Orisha, or they may have certain how do I say like like visions and so forth. This takes many, many years because the spirit comes first. So we don't really dream because Orisha not spirit. They have a different light that existed way before Christ, way before Jesus, and so forth. So when the Orisha speaks, the Orisha speaks through the
Everybody.
divinity.
Mm.
Woo! You felt it,
I felt
right?
that. Yes.
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 Somebody is hooking you up with some roses, blessing with somebody. Got
Thank
so
you
much
so
love.
much.
Ashe, look. So the thing is that thank you and blessings. So Orisha, they divine when, so for
Mm-hmm.
example, when we get crowned, we are
Right.
sitting what we call on an Odon. This belongs to
Okay.
Chango, being the king of the religion. And that Odon that is prepared, the
Mm-hmm.
person is being crowned with this, and it aligns with the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
So you have visions. I knew a child of Oya that saw like the all-seeing eye of Egypt and so forth. I actually really did. For me, I sat on an almond pilon, and I saw a white
You
wolf.
have a
So that's
goddaughter that is reaching out to you. Her
oh
name is Sisterhood. She said she want to make
that's
sure
a
you know it's
baby.
her.
That's my baby. Okay. That's also
I
she's a
just told her
sweetheart.
she knows it's you. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I see it. Lafia, sweetheart. So this, and she's a child of Ogun. So yeah. So this here in this blessing, the Orisha
Mm-hmm.
manifests itself in different ways. Oya, you
Right.
being a child of Oya, is very very close to Egungun, to Egun, and to Orisha Egungun, and
Right.
giving you blessings for that. And also Oya is the mother of Elegua. So Oya is like one of the Orisha that's very close between life and death and so forth.
Mm.
But we don't really just say, oh, I want to see a Chosi. Then they definitely gonna look at you like, excuse me?
Right.
This is a
I
process
need
that
y'all to
we
hear that. You just don't. It's just like saying that you want to go in and meet with the president or the CEO. It's not that way. And there's people that there are
yeah.
priests that are I'm using the word anointed or consecrated or sacred to
Right.
that particular deity or Orisha that have ways to communicate back and forth. And it's just like say for instance that we had private walkie talkies. You know what I'm saying? That's our way of connecting. You know what I'm saying? And I need you guys to understand that it is not just walking. There is a way that an individual operates and functions and allows them to be able to communicate with their Orishas.
Ashe, it takes a long time. Like I remember
Somebody said,
one time
"Hey, Madrina, the
I tried.
Empress lives."
Oh, the Empress. Oh, it's sweet. Oh, blessing. Ava Moreau was on here too. And it's. I remember many years ago I was in danger, right?
Uh,
And I saw this man operating on me, right?
right,
And I didn't know who he was. When I spoke to my padrino of a local in Elegua, Victor Lopez, Iba Iba Intenu, Adebisi, he said, you saw Inlay. And I'm like, what? Because I was in an emergency. This is years
mm-hmm.
ago. And they will manifest themselves. You may dream of an ocean. You may dream of a cemetery. You may
Things
dream of
that
some,
represent that particular Orisha. That's why it's
yeah,
good to know them in nature, so you can recognize
yes.
when they manifest.
Yes, and then they start showing themselves. So in Palo, your mother very well, Centella and Doki. Why? Centella, because they have the, and even if she wasn't, like, so like you had Madre Agua, it's still just as fine. But
Right.
they start giving you confirmation when you go through your spiritual ceremonies. You know, when you go through your different faiths and your different walks of life, they will start showing you and manifesting. But you, that takes time. We really meet Orisha when we get divine readings through the cowrie shells. After
Mm-hmm.
we crown, sometimes they'll start talking to us, and we can't just say, "Oh no, this is this." You'll start knowing who is who because they all
Mm-hmm.
become your parents.
And that's based off the relationship. I got another question. We
Yeah.
hear this oftentimes. It says, "Can I cross these two religions, Voodoo and Orisha? Is that the same? Can they be crossed?"
Not at all, because they are different faiths. They
Mm-hmm.
don't even, okay, so I'm going to give an example, okay? Many years ago, I had my altar for my 21 division years ago. I already
Mm-hmm.
got crowned, and I had it right next to the table. I had it next to my Orisha. I had it next to Yemaya's vessel. I was told, which I said, no, this is no way, that there could be a war in the room. The actual, I have a scepter, you know, for Yemaya, like a almost like a Poseidon scepter. I don't know if what's that's called in
Yeah,
English,
trident.
but
They call it
right,
trident.
right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. This thing crashed all to my 21 division. Not only that, but it had you know, like red wax to represent blood. Because
Mm-hmm.
why? In voodoo, we can get crowned as Hugans, as Mambos, as Sancistas, and so forth. So if this is something that you decide to do, it's good that you do it before you get crowned. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't do it before you get crowned, don't let them touch your head. Everything goes from neck down. So what's important is voodoo is used in 21 divisions and sanse. It's used in a different language. It is highly respected. This is something that is a separate prayer energy. Even though, like when I
Mm-hmm.
do a greeting, I say Alafia Aho, I say, because that's what I'm walking with. Doesn't mean it gets mixed in. It can not get mixed in. I have
Mm-hmm.
seen people using veves what's for Chum. No, this belongs to Mama Chola for the FEMA, or the Veve belongs to Anaisa, for example. You know, so these are different energies that we cannot mix. However, you can be a voodoo priest, and that's finished. You can get scratch and palo, but it has to be organized. It's like going to college. You see,
Mm-hmm.
we go for our
Do
associate's
y'all
degree.
hear that? It has to be organized, and it has to make sense why your ancestors would want you to be in those types of
Yes.
pantheons and those traditions as well.
Yes, yes. Hello, hello. Santo, love. Santo, it's a Sansista, beautiful. So,
Dancista.
yeah, that's our key. So, the thing is that we start, for example, Akeem, he's a Sansista, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then if he decides to move on to Ocha, but he's already completed his spiritual energy. This is important.
Mm-hmm.
Completing our spiritual energy, completing what
Remember
we
that,
need
guys.
to.
Completion. Do not be jumping from one
Yes,
system to the next. You got to complete the process.
complete it. Yes, it's just like, okay, I got my associate's degree. I don't know, in
Bachelor's would be next, then your
then
master's,
master,
and then your
then
doctorate, and
PhD.
so forth.
Yes,
Right.
even if it's different studies, it's okay
Mm-hmm.
to do that. What I love about Santeria is they want you to do that. They want you to have these different spiritual energies that
Mm-hmm.
walk with you, because they have to walk with you. Some people are not meant for 21 division. Some people are not meant for Palo. Some people are not meant for Satse. Some people are not meant for Ocha. Some people are not meant for Babalao. But you
Mm-hmm.
know that it walks with you. Complete it. Have that done. Don't mix it in like this. We can't put voodoo things inside of a sopera for Yemaya. And I know somebody that went to the cemetery, and this person put the cemetery by mistake, the dirt to Ochun. And I heard banging and hit. and
Not
there,
even close. That,
and it
you
was
know what that sounds like? That's like you're in a Mexican restaurant asking for Chinese food, and
there
you
you
wonder why the
go.
waiter is looking at you crazy. The who?
Yeah.
You want what?
Yes. Yeah, no, it has to be separated, and it is, and and completed. Like you're gonna do the ceremony, finish your year of your Yabadahe. Many people want to give up their year. Stay
Hmm.
with it because you're not doing it for the godparent, you're not doing it for the community. You are doing it with your relationship to Orisha, and
I
they
got
must
another
complete
question
it.
for you.
Please.
It says, can white people be called to work with the Orishas even if they have African ancestry?
Okay, now I believe Orisha, and it's not what I believe, I'm giving a fact
Mm.
that all colors, we are all mixed with something, okay? Even if the person is pure, I don't know if they call it Aryan race or white or whatever, or they Chinese.
Right.
Listen, the Orisha sees your soul. They don't see our color, they don't see our sexual preference, they don't see anything else but our soul. And
Mhm.
our soul is what matters. Our soul and the lives that our souls lived
Mhm.
depends on what Orisha will take us in. So it does not matter. And it makes me so upset when I see racism on TikTok or YouTube. I think it's disgusting. Why? Because why? We're all sharing. It's okay for us to wear European clothes, right? Because this doesn't
Right.
really belong to us.
It ain't African
Stuff like
clothes.
this
It's
don't belong
European.
to us. This is not really ours. A lot of this stuff, even if it was not by choice, belongs to Europe
And
too.
even the languages that a lot of us are utilizing did not come from our it's not Yoruba language. It doesn't come from
Thank
African culture. It came from the conquerors of that particular land at that time. A lot of people, even Creole,
Yes,
that's not natural to voodoo. It's French
correct.
from the conquerors of the conquista. You know what I'm saying? I just want people to
Thank
understand, like,
you.
don't get caught up in the small stuff and forget the whole concept of your religion or your the whether it is trying to get crowned or being in
Yeah.
these religions.
That's
Okay,
exactly, yes. So the
go ahead.
language, like Salam Alaikum in Palo, was through the conquerors of Islam. You're correct.
Hmm.
100%. What else? So Lukumi means my friend. Santeria, it doesn't matter what color you are. Even if you are from Africa, it doesn't have to be your religion. There's other religions that are in Africa. There's the
Right.
people of Dahomey. There's people who specialize in being a witch doctor. Not
Hmm.
Orisha is not the whole of Africa. There's different religions that walk with our spirit guides that belong to us.
Would it be safe to say that just like in a store, there's different departments for different things, right? And
Uh-huh.
when it comes to spirituality, depending on your ancestral makeup, you may be faced with voodoo. You may be faced with Santeria. You may be faced with Palo or Congo, depending on
Mhm.
what's there. But the point of saying people don't want to do the work to get the readings or the
Mhm.
divination because there's too many people out here that's already gone down that path that you don't have to stumble in the dark. You know, if you, and I want to say this too. You made a statement a
Uh-huh.
little earlier that I think people need to pay attention to. In order to be a priest or a priestess in there, you got to even have room for the work. Like, do you have the economics or the space to even be a priestess? Because you cannot,
I
you know what I'm saying? And I believe that if that is truly your calling, your spirits will make room for themselves. You cannot have Ezra Lee sitting over there with Oshun. No, those are
no.
two different spirits,
Thank
and they
you.
need their own space. And that's what my thing is. A lot of people are
Right.
getting into stuff, and they're trying to basically put all this stuff in one space, and they wonder why it's so much confusion. It's like bringing all the family over with one bedroom. You got 17 people in one room, it's gonna be a problem.
Yes.
I don't care how close of a family member they is. Get off of me. Stop touching me. There's not enough
It
space
is
for those
true.
spirits or those energies to operate.
Ashe. And you see why, because you've been to my house many times, right? You see
Yeah.
why
I
I
mean,
have
she had
21
stuff,
divisions
but it's
separate.
separated. Certain
You
rooms are for
see?
certain spirits. You know.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
another question.
Yes. Hmm.
Someone asked the question: does the ancestors work with the Orishas?
Ancestors 100%. Okay. So I'm not going to give the secrets of what is inside of our vessels. Some of us know
Hmm.
because warriors, for example, that you see them on TV or the video or whatever.
Mhm.
But we cannot have Orishas without ancestors. We cannot. So there are certain Otans that we see that walk with Elegua. Those Otans are consecrated. They're not made by someone who just off the street or is not crowned or this. No, those Otans were
Mhm.
chosen through your spirit guides to walk with you based on your ancestral lineage. And they 100% without our ancestors, we are no spiritual energy. We have to have, and what, let me just clear this. Orishas are not to be Catholicized. They have to have their own vessels, like what Apostle said, my brother said, their own space. Okay? So
Mhm.
when you're working with your ancestors, you have your ancestor table, you have all your blessings there, and then
Mhm.
when you receive your Orisha, they're in another section. They work hand in hand, but your ancestors come first. I don't know why some people don't have faith in their ancestors or their
Mhm.
spirits. When we want something to work quickly, we
Go
work
straight to the
through our
ancestors.
spirit and our ancestors because they will go real quick. Why? Because they're closer to earth.
Could
Everybody
you say
wants to
that
run
last
to a
part
reason.
again? Your
They are
ancestors are
closer
closer
to earth.
to.
To earth. Even if they
That's what people are not understanding. If
like,
you have mundane issues going on, it is best to work with your ancestors than going to an Orisha or a Loa.
yes,
If you have a good, strong relationship and you're feeding your, as some people, Aguns or Morotos, or we have all kind of terms depending on the science. But your ancestors are vitally important about your everyday life because they have an understanding of those needs. They still are not so they're not so far touched from that reality or what you may have need of on a day-to-day basis.
yes.
I got another one
They
here.
come first. Ancestors come first.
I have another one.
Mhm.
They said, how do you spot a fraud godmother or godfather?
Oh,
When
that's
you want to
easy.
get crowned, it's so important to get the right people. So
Huh?
what is it that somebody should be looking for, or what do you subscribe to them that they should be doing in order to align themselves with the proper godmother or godfather to get their crown?
Uh-huh. The whole thing is in the community. So it goes by who is what is your house name? Who is your godparent? Who is your godparent's parent? Look at the lineage that the person comes from.
Mhm.
Even if some people in that lineage have passed away, there's
Mhm.
still going to be a house, a great grandfather. Like I, for example, I can go back to who my Achosi was born from.
Right,
The grandfather of Maya Chosi comes from an old man that is crowned Yemaya, for an example, right?
Mhm.
Then he gave it to my baby's madrina. Her madrina gave a Chosi to my padrino. So see, and I could say, okay, my grandfather is Rafi Ogun.
Mhm.
Ogun Miwa in Puerto Rico. Okay, he's crowned 300 and some people. Okay, it does matter how much. Why? Because that's a spread of the blood seed. Because then we no longer have family relation in terms of blood to people. We have a relation towards the energy of people's Orisha. So
Right,
you have to do research because let me tell you, and that's a very good question. There are people who have, with all due respect, because I have to tell the truth, they
right,
have lied and they have fake vessels and fake things because they learn to survive from wherever they're from in countries. I don't
right.
want to say which country. And those countries, they have brought them across. And I remember going through somebody, and I will never say who. Okay, this person is not crowned. They received something, and I went through the vessel out of their permission, and I had to fix it where that person had to receive the Orisha that was given to them the right way because the con artist that did this, not only did he mail Ochun in the mail, we don't receive Orisha in the mail.
Y'all hear that?
We
You
don't
cannot
receive,
receive Orishas in the
no,
mail.
no, Orishas are not statues. They enhance. They enhance our vessel. So we put like I have a little statue to a ruler, very nice. Orishas live in a consecrated terrain. So these people have learned to survive, and some of them probably they don't know. I don't know. But we know, like when you're in a ceremony and you're working in Orisha ceremony, and
Mhm.
somebody that is running that house does something really weird or like offbeat, you're gonna be like,
Mhm.
I seen somebody throw popcorn to LA Gua and I was out. Okay? Because we know LA Gua uses toasted corn. You know, it's
Right.
different if you give an offering of popcorn and he feels like that. But for ceremony, it's very strict. For ceremony, we don't use Florida water. For the Orisha. For spirit, yes. It's very natural and very strict. So
So for
when you have the
ceremony,
knowledge,
Florida water is not used,
nah, for Orisha. No, for
not for
spirit.
Orisha. But they
Not at
can use
all.
it for ancestor, but not Orisha.
Right, right. The
So
21 division and
basically what I'm hearing from you
mhm,
is if you
mhm.
do enough homework when it comes to the Orishas and what their offerings are, some things will be a dead giveaway. That's like when
Ah,
a
so
man said
mean,
he's the one to take care. That's like a man saying he want to marry you and he show up on a bicycle. That's a dead giveaway.
I love it. Yeah. My family from Puerto Rico. Ashe. Yes. Yes, that's a dead giveaway. Yes,
Yeah.
because you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
But
just saying that because it's not just a responsibility of looking for a godparent. It's also your responsibility to do the basic homework of having a basic idea of what
yes.
Iligwa is. If you're gonna get into Lakumi or Santeria, you need to have a basic knowledge. No, you don't need all the secrets, but you need to have a basic knowledge. So there are certain things you should recognize and ask
Thank you.
questions. Find you an elder that has honor and dignity and ask
Yes.
questions.
Yes.
Let me see. I got
Questions have to be
they got
asked.
a, when we use the word fraud, because I think
Oh,
people use
cute.
that word loosely, fraud. Um, because a godparent is not going to be perfect. Okay.
Yes.
But there are certain things um that you should be able to ask your godparent. I feel like when you're in leadership position and an elder and you don't want to be questioned or you don't want your work to be examined, that's a problem to me.
Oh,
I don't have a
yes.
problem people examining me. I had somebody, bless me
Right.
today. They were testing to see if I was who I say I was. I shouldn't have a problem with people.
Wow.
They should, because if I'm gonna be out here, people should know I know what I know or got what I say I got. That's not an issue. When you have elders
Yeah.
that they don't want to be questioned or they don't want their work to be examined by other priests or priestesses, that's a
Yes.
red flag.
It
Because if
is. And
you
I've
did your
seen
work right,
yeah,
all they can do is confirm that the work was done correctly.
exactly. Exactly. Only thing is that Aleos cannot know the secrets that go in the Santo room. There's certain
Right. They don't
secrets.
need to know the secret, but
Yes.
somebody like you could look over because I haven't been crowned yet. Somebody like you could look over my work and
Oh
say,
yeah.
okay, Apostle Ely, this was done correctly. You received this correctly because
No,
I'm yet
you know,
making that journey. There,
yes.
that's not a problem, right?
Yes. That's right.
And that's the benefit of me having my personal security, knowing that my madrina or my padrino is doing
Yes.
correctly by me. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? I think that a lot of people will have more security if, and like you said, even when it comes to the crowning, there's more than one crown person there.
Oh, yes, there is. There's
That is
about 10
important.
people working that. That's why people complain, why is it so much? Well, my God, what do you expect? It's a whole bunch of people that are crowned that work hard to get where they are. And
Hmm.
they're working on the ceremony because those prayers and
Hmm.
those openings are done by people who are crowned, who make that sacrifice and who have love for this. So it's you godparents should be like, okay, this is what you need to know. People need to watch and be careful of fraudulent things. Like, I saw somebody a long time ago I was so upset, put a Chosi next to a stove and was working Florida water with a candle. How are you going to summon a Chosi like that? Like, this is not,
Hmm.
far from Wicca. Orisha is very, 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 very secretive in that sense in those
Hmm.
rooms. Then we teach our godchildren when it comes to when they get crowned, okay, this is why you receive this. Everything has a meaning. And
Hmm.
sometimes it may not make sense originally because it's a lot to learn,
Hmm.
but it all has meaning behind it. And it's very sacred. It's very beautiful once it's respected.
I want to say this because since we're dealing with fraud, um,
Yes.
I honestly believe that some people have a right to charge what they want to charge when it comes to certain things,
Right.
right? But then there's a guideline that it shouldn't be to the extreme. Okay. And in these crownings, you have people I know economically animals may cost, if say for instance you're in one location, they may cost one price, then another they may cost, and all depending on the Orisha that you're
True.
being crowned.
Right.
Why is it important to the person that is trying to be crowned to have a basic understanding of what is a rational cost for somebody of me, Oya, or some Eligwa, or why is that important to that people stay in a certain frame of cost?
It is important because we are not here as priests and priestesses and aleos to be hoodwinked or to be ripped off just because we have a big guardian angel that costs a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? The cost in this here faith, the Orisha focus on stability and food and good health, right?
Right.
So if it is overcharged, this is just not fair, because the Orisha will punish that particular godparent. They would. If I say, oh, it's this and this price, and it goes way over the range, okay, you're paying for your work, you're paying for your animals, you're paying for the materials, all the santeros got to get paid, and based on their level of their status in that room, for example, the Obadi Ate, with blessing, somebody send you Obadiate,
Right.
and for the Mantanza, meaning sacrifice of the Babalao, they
Right.
get paid like most, because it's a lot of work. And then the people that are working and doing sacred things with the animals,
Right.
that's another, money, like, income, because why? It's their time and their sweat. Also, too, thank you and blessings to all. The people that work hard in that ceremony, that somebody could die or pick up something, some energy that was
Mm-hmm.
taken from the Yahoo to put on another head. That the person, so these people need those funds, whoever works in that ceremony, even if they go home with $100, $200. Oba usually go home with $1,500. I'm gonna keep it real. And that
Right.
one priest, okay, the cook more. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Because it's called Iku. It's a lot of energy, and people
Right.
need to clean themselves when they're leaving Orisha ceremony. It's a very, very huge, serious, and sacred ceremony. You see? So, but people need to not abuse, like in terms of, oh, so you're a child of Oya, you're a child of a
Mm-hmm.
Chosi, so you should be paying this, and that. I don't believe in that. I believe the animals you need to sit with the godchild, write the cost of the animals, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what we do. That's what some people do, not everybody. This is what I do, and what I
Right.
know you would do.
Because you're
Here's the
teaching,
cost.
because you're
The
teaching
goat.
them
Yes.
how things should go and what to expect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because here's the cost of the goat. Here's the cost of the chickens. It's just not one goat for each Orisha. There's many birds that also go with that. Here
Mm-hmm.
is this. Here's that. Here is this. At least they have a ballpark figure, and the madrina or padrino needs to say, listen, now out of this ceremony, this here is going to be my derecho. You
Mm-hmm.
see, or this is what I'm charging because it's a lot of work. Where always the
So
Orisha
it's not
always
that it's not
that.
that I don't think people feel that people should not get paid. I think that what people are having a problem with are trying to make sure that they're not being overcharged. So you've been doing this a very long time. Like,
Yeah.
I know sometimes it can vary between costs, but what do you think are some of the ballpark figures that some people should look for so they have a general idea? Because
Yeah.
sometimes people think they're paying way more, and sometimes they're actually getting a good deal. And
So,
sometimes people thinking they're getting a good deal and they're paying way more. So
huh?
what would be a base figure of something that you would think that would because you've been crowning people for quite some time.
Well, now Egun has been very good to me. I've only crowned one,
Mm-hmm.
like one person literally,
Mm-hmm.
which is a child of Obatala. So Obatala, it's according to the Orisha. So Obatala, Yemaya, Chango, Ochun, this is very, very modest and very,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little more easier on the pockets, but yet so they all give blessing. So this is the most reasonable, in other words, because it requires less things unless in what we call Ibo entrada, which means an opening of the Santo, before the person goes in, they might say, okay, you have to receive this Orisha. That happened
Mm-hmm.
to my daughter the child of Chango, she had to receive a Chosi. And her Ubone is crowned a Chosi. She's born from Ogun, right? So
Right.
she had to receive that. That came up. So what did we do? They work with you. They say, okay, if you cannot receive a Chosi where he can talk to you in four legs, you can receive him later. But you receive him in feathers, you see? So it's according to what services. So when you're a warrior, okay, and everybody's warrior. I'm not trying to please. When you have to require having two thrones, like Oya needs two thrones, Achosi needs two thrones, Eligua needs two thrones, Ogun needs two thrones, Asohano is huge. When it requires more work and more energy, it's going to cost more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, say for example, the person needs to just receive a locum. Like that was my first Orisha is Eligua
Mm-hmm.
and a locum. So when I received Eligua and a locum, you can have those Orishas without being crowned. That's how you build up. Okay.
Right.
Then you get your warriors, okay, which your warriors receiving Elegua, Ogun, or Chosi has to come from a Santero or Santera, right?
Right.
Echu comes from a Babalao. I want to make that clear. Echu is not Elegua. Echu is not Elegua. Echu is Echu. Elegua is Elegua. It's the alter ego of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, comes time to crowning. If somebody is going over, and I can't give the exact because I don't want to, because I know people are
No,
watching us.
I know, but a ballpark. We're using ballpark.
Anything over
It's not a
20,
specific.
anything over 18 is utterly disgusting. Okay, it doesn't mean because
18, 1800,
thousand
18,000. Anything over
if you get
18,000.
crowned, think about it. If each goat is going to cost $150 to $300 for each goat,
Mm.
and then the padrino and madrina's orishas are being fed too, so that's so that they don't go down. They're being
Right.
fed clout. They're being fed because the Orisha is so strong. You could take out that padrino, madrina, and they could lose their life in a few days. They could end up in a hospital. So
Mm.
all of these animals, anything over 18, and I don't want to get in trouble because I know this spies looking, is too much. You
Mm.
understand? It's according to the discretion of the godparents. Because if you add up the animals and you add up the derecho of the cook, you add up the derecho means payment. If you add up the mantanza for the babalao, if you add up the obariate, if you add the madrina and the ubona and the people that is working the santo, then the madrina or the ubon or the padrino needs to be honest and say, here's a list. Good people do that. This is my derecho. This is what I'm charging. You understand? And if you undercharge, you're going to get sick. You're going to have to receive a big santo. You're going to have to either receive a sohana. Why?
It's
Because
important that the money is utilized. And let me
man,
explain something to you guys as
wow.
well. If it is meant for you to be crowned, your spirits will
No,
make
no.
way for the finances. Money would never be a problem for your ancestors. Remember, we're dealing with the
No,
Almighty,
you'll
so
get crowned.
don't look at the amount. If it is
No,
meant for you to be crowned, your
no.
ancestors, I promise you, will make a way for you.
And I'm going to tell you a story. Some people go to Cuba
Mm-hmm.
and they like for example my little one, my, Isaiah, his godparents live in Cuba. His godmother lives here, but his Ubone lives in Cuba. So say for example you have a godchild and they have to go to Cuba, it's much less in Cuba. I could not afford to do, with all due respect, but a Chosi made a way to get crowned a Chosi here in the United States. I
Mm-hmm.
could not afford to have my son do it. I did not do it to show off, to be a big shot, to be like, oh, I'm crowned. No,
Mm-hmm.
I receive Orisha and I receive a Chosi because I know the power of the Orisha for health. And my son at the time, my Fedefun Chango and Ochun,
Mm-hmm.
that Chango, Ochun, and Elegua and all the Orishas saved his life. He was very sick. So what we did was we took him, and I have my godparent here. My godfather is from Puerto Rico, the one that crowned me, okay?
Right.
It's Bajo Chun, and his godmother, Sandra Agayu. They came with us to Cuba because I wanted somebody here to
Mm-hmm.
take us over there, and they did our stuff, okay? So let's make it clear. If we say it'll never happen and we think about the money, but we're able to buy Versace clothes and Gucci shoes and eat at the fanciest restaurant.
People spend money
Let
on
me
what they
tell
want to
you
spend
something.
money on. That's just
If
the
you
real
got
the reality
eight
of it.
thousand dollars, okay, to get to Cuba to save your life and to be a good person, and you believe in this, then do it. And I don't care who you do it with, as long as you do it right, those who are listening. Because I'll tell you a story. I knew a child of Obatala. Matter of fact, I ran into her the other day. And her mom was struggling to get her crown. This is many years ago in New York. She didn't have no money to get crowned. And she was very sick. She was skinny like this. Skinny. I think you met her. I think you met her. I won't
Okay,
say
I
the
think yeah, I did meet her.
she's my testimony, okay? So her mother was struggling to get a crown because she had cancer. She was sick. She was 8 years old. She was this big. She couldn't even walk to get in the throne. Her mother said, I don't have it. You know, her mother checked a bag in New York. You know, in New York, they check your
Mm.
bags and they give you a ticket because they don't allow you to go to.
Yeah, about son.
Her mother,
I feel it.
whoa, you feel it.
Woo.
When her mother got that bag and she went home, there was $10,000 in that bag. She got crowned, Obatala. Okay? To
Mhm.
this very day, this person mounts the most beautiful Obatala I've ever seen or mounted on earth.
Mhm.
Okay? So that is not true. And the Orisha wants you, like when I did not have it, but a Chosi and my Egun and Chango made sure, and they took care of my son because Yemaya didn't need bow as he was going across the ocean.
Mhm.
And he couldn't speak. When I see he speak just fine now, you
Yeah,
know
no, he
he's
don't have
very
a problem talking now.
yeah, exactly. He couldn't speak, and
That's
they
my
took
boy
that
there.
baby, and they took care of that baby, and they cleaned him. So if you believe in this, you cannot fake the funny and say, "Oh, I'm gonna just keep a statue for Yemaya because I think that's my mother." No, man. You get your stuff done, make the sacrifice, and they'll give to you later. Because no matter what happens, we always get, whatever a Chosi, Gun, they never see us hungry. They never see us. If we fall and get sick, they get us back up. The Orisha is priceless. I don't care if it was 50, 100, $500,000. If I could get crowned a Chosi again, believe me, with all the blood in my soul, I'm telling you, I would do it. People need to see
Yeah,
that and stop looking at this material world. Because when we pass away, that's the Orisha is the one that's going to take us and take us to go into the next world. I'm not, with all due
I think this was really
respect,
beautiful because I
right?
think that a lot of people
Yes.
that don't want to invest in their spirituality use the word fraud and scam when they don't want to do their part. I want
Jesus.
I the purpose of this is for
Mhm.
babes or people that are listening and even practitioners to have a template of how to discuss when it
Yeah.
comes down to someone saying about scamming. Scamming is not you saying, well, oh, I can go get this off of Amazon. Go get it off of Amazon. Or I can go and buy this out of store. But if you want that
Yeah.
priest or priestess to prepare that for you, then you're
Oh,
going to
Fred.
pay for their ashe. You're going to
Ashe.
invest in their ashe
Hi,
so
Freddie.
their spirits can bless you. And
Yes.
I look at spirituality as an investment. I've never said, oh, I gave this amount of money, I lost my anything that I do for people, I look at it as sowing seed investment because I know I'm going to get that back. Because at the end of the day, if you truly believe in the Orisha, that means you believe in Ola Damari, right? So that means
Yes.
that
Amen.
you are honoring the spirit and the spirits are going to bless you for the mindset that you have. A lot of you guys, you're out here saying people scamming you when the truth is you don't want to play your part. You act like you act like we're in an auction. $1, $1, $2, $2. No, this is not an auction. This is
Thank
what you
you.
need to pay.
I love you. I want to give you. I can't wait to see. It's true. And let me tell you,
Spirituality is not an auction. It's not.
it's not. Let me tell you a weird story, right? My daughter, and I don't know because I can't tell you if this was Siete Dayo or if it was a Chango.
Mm,
My daughter was coming from school and it was a big canal that was muddy, okay? And she was scared to cross over. This man that showed up with a red shirt and white pants, and she said he was very dark skinned, he had on a hat, and he
mhm.
grabbed her arm and he said, "You have to move fast." He pulled her
Right.
across that canal and she landed on her feet. There's things that we don't know in this world that are miraculous. And you know what? We have to give thanks every day. But this religion is not made for everybody because they don't understand. It's not about material things. It's not about money. Yes, you got to pay. Who's going to buy your goat? Even if you got to, who's going to buy these things? These things, people that are doing this
Let me
religion
say
don't
it like this.
work
Let me say it
profit.
like this. Let me say it like this.
Mhm.
When you go to the dentist and you need a crown, you need
Uh,
a cleansing,
so,
you have to pay.
mhm.
That dentist
Yeah.
is not going to say, oh, because your mouth is rotten or you missing teeth or your teeth are cracked. What spiritual have to do is set a standard and stop letting these people negotiate with them for their
Got you.
services. Either you want the help
Yes.
or you don't. Well, this is not.
Thank
And
you.
another thing, spiritual need to stop trying to undermine or what they in business world they call it outbidding somebody or underbidding. You're
Under.
hurting the religion. You're hurting the tradition when you play all these games trying to get somebody to come with you over going to somebody else. What you need to understand is we all represent this particular tradition and we need to have a standard for it. And when people just like kids, a lot of people just like kids. If mama tell me no, I'm going to try to go through that.
And it's not right. This is not a car. I have told someone this, and I'm not saying it's not a car auction. That is so disrespectful to the Orisha. Oh, so you're gonna give me the Warriors for 500? You're gonna give me for 7? You're gonna give me for 1,000? I'll go with this one. But you gotta be careful what you pay for, because if you paying crap money, or like or you paying something that and it doesn't add up, because I know and we know as knowledge
Mhm.
goes on for the years, how much of the materials, how much of the animals, how much of the plants, you got to pay people to work that ceremony, this, and if somebody tell you some crazy price, that's another scams that we got to be careful of,
Mhm.
because it's not quality work. We have to be
That's
careful
right. You
with.
do get what you pay for. I have a question. I
Yes.
think that if someone asks, where do Orishas
What?
come from?
What you pay for? Ashe. Hmm?
They
Say it again,
have a
please,
question. They say,
Apostle.
where do Orishas come from?
Oh, okay. So Olodumare, Olofi was in heaven, and they blew all of the ashes of the different points of nature
Mm-hmm.
all over the universe. And that's how Orishas were born. It's also probably also to a mystery, because there's most likely some things missing out of what I'm telling you. So for example, when they blew the Ache, the Orisha are like, and this is my description to you, like demigods.
Right.
So say God is here. He has his guardian angels. He has Angel Michael. Da, da, da. Well, Orisha, they said, there's a book. Oh man, I'm going to send you a picture of it. I think it's called My Path of Orisha. They tell
Mm-hmm.
you in this book how where Orishas come from. They are through the breath of life of Olofi, Olodumare, where they just and Orishas were born and they carried that Ache. So when we receive the Orishas, that's why we're receiving the Ache, that fire.
Mm-hmm.
The energy of Oya, when we have the breath of life, it's like the breath of life is different Ashes that come through. So they all received, let's look at it like a golden gift.
Mm-hmm.
And that golden gift, that's how they were born, with the different energies of the universe. And that book tells more. There's more. I just
I got a
don't
question
remember
that
all of
kind
it.
of tie
But
into
yeah.
what you're talking about. It said, what would make one a demigod? Could you elaborate
Oh,
on that a little more? What makes one a demigod?
you mean like a human or like an Orisha, they mean?
I think I think they're meaning an Orisha. I'm not for sure because they didn't clarify. But it ties into what you were talking about. The Orishas are demigods. Could you explain what a real demigod is? Because I believe a demigod, a daimon, that's what I call it, half God, half man.
Oh, okay. So a demigod, for example, in my opinion, is the aspect of the blood of actual God. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because demigod is like, when they're using it's like a fickle term,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. So example, Ochosius, he can hear me with all blessing, my Fedefuna Chosi. He is born, he is the child of Yemaya, and
Mm-hmm.
he is the child of of Obatala. Say for example, so a demigod is the blessing of that Ache from Olodumare and Orisha. They have part of
That
the
union.
energy of God in them. But somebody said something here that was that just stuck in my head real quick, and I'll go back to that. They're saying something like, "Oh, so for me to receive the religion is from my pocketbook or something." I don't know if they could put that.
Oh, hold on.
Okay,
Don't worry about it. Let me
somebody
answer
put
that for
them
you.
out their pocketbook.
Let me answer that for you.
Sorry, that
The thing
just
about it
messed my
is,
head up.
it's not. Listen, let me explain something. Do not, and I'm saying this to everybody that practice ATRs. Christian people will go and spend their money in a church. Do not let these people make you feel like you got to give away your service, your ashe, because they want you to, oh, it's all about money. I remember my younger son told me, he's like, I was telling him, he said, oh, you are not there for me. I said, I've been doing this for you. I've been giving you this. I've been doing that. He said, oh, that's a material thing. You know what I told him? It's easy to say it's material when you got it.
Yeah, because somebody
Okay?
just said something about pocketbook.
Yeah, but everywhere you go, it's going to cost you. It might not cost you in dollars and cents. It might cost you your life.
Exactly, because you know what? The reason why we use animal, and there's animals there too, so that there's been many people who have been sick. There's been many people I've seen they had to pick up and put in the throne to save their life. So who is supposed to pay the goats? Even okay, so like the whole community gets together to save a life. Who is buying all those animals? Who's buying all those
The
materials? They're
money's
not
still
just
coming from
ordinary plant.
somewhere. The money is still coming from
Exactly.
somewhere because it has to be bought. If you get a Bible, you got to pay for it. If you go, listen, I have
Thank
connections
you.
all throughout Miami, right? I've never went somewhere and they say, you know what, because you came here 433 times, you could just, this order right here is on the house. No, I have to pay each and every time I walk in. And when I go and buy liquor, I have to pay each and every time. Even when I
Exactly.
go
I'm
to my
proud to show.
godmother's botanica, I still pay for her. I'm her godson, but when I put them candles up there, I have to pay for that. So
Exactly,
that
but
is
how would
ignorant.
you feel comfortable in taking something free? Like, how would the person feel comfortable anyway? Like, I've paid through my life before I got crowned, and somebody asked, I'm crowned to Chosi, and my mother's Yemaya, I'm born from Ochun,
Mhm.
my Fedefuno de Mata, my Fedefun Yemaya, and all Orisha and Egun. But I don't, I never felt comfortable in running to somebody. Oh, can you give me this Orisha? Can I receive a local for free? Like, I don't even personally feel comfortable in robbing. To me, that's robbery. To take something. Oh, can I get my warriors from you? Oh, I'm gonna give them for. Can I get them for free? Or that's weird. Like, I personally would never in my life feel comfortable in accepting an Orisha or receiving a spirit or doing a ceremony, and taking it from that person and say, I got this for free, because nothing is for free, because that person's spirit is gonna run behind you.
Hey, Miss Whitney.
Oh, say hi, Florida. It's let's be respectful. Oh, that my goddaughter watching
Yeah,
because somebody said about
actually
pocketbook.
I just
Oh,
made
my
her monitor.
goddaughter.
I just made her monitor.
Oh,
We want to
thank you.
and listen, guys. If Cash App Shadow Wolves. Could you, goddaughter, could you put Shadow Wolves, because she's giving out a lot of information. If you guys want to be a blessing to her, please do so. But put her Cash App up there. And she's gonna be with me tomorrow at my church. So it's gonna be an awesome time that we're gonna be having.
Wait,
Okay. Also, they have another question here. Which
please.
Orisha do you use for job, business, and wealth? Someone asked that question. What Orisha would they
Ooh.
work with for a job, a
Ooh.
business, or wealth?
Awamideo gumaribo. Awamideo gumaribo guna fomo de oinya bere maribo gunde baba ogun. My fedefun ogun. That's your Orisha. He bring
Yeah.
money. Yes, don't bring money, but let me tell you, Ifa cannot move without the energy of Ochun and Ogun. But if you're looking for money, go to Ogun. You got your pot, wake Ogun up. Take the pot and shake it a little bit. Ogun, I need this, I need money, I need that. He knows what you need. Ogun is the woe of the religion. People say Ochun, yes, with all due respect. But Ogun holds all the coins and the money and
Did
work.
y'all hear that? Ogun hold all the coins and the money.
Yep.
Post Shadow Wolves Cash App. If they want to bless me, they can do that too. But I want to make
Yeah,
sure you
yeah,
guys,
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
interviewing her.
Yeah.
My Cash App is $ Apostle Ely, but I need you to put up Shadow
Put
Wolves
up yours and put up
Cash
mine.
App, because she's
And
giving out a lot of information. And I'm telling y'all, this is gonna
I'm
save y'all a
happy
lot
to.
of money, time, and energy, because it's coming from an experience, and it's giving you the opportunity so that when you're out here and you're asking for guidance, this is the type of stuff that you know what to look for in order to
Yeah.
find you a good madrina or a good padrino or somebody that's really into religion and that's going to teach you. If you're gonna be in this,
Yes.
me personally, I try to study as much as I can and educate myself as much as I can. I don't. The reason why I believe that I'm successful because I don't believe that I go in anything not expecting to invest. Can you initiate into multiple religions? King Saul says, can you initiate into multiple religions?
You can initiate into multiple spiritual religions that belong to you. So for example, say for example you wanted to initiate in voodoo. You do so. Now, when you get crowned with your Orisha on your head, nothing can touch your head after that. That's it. If you decide to be, I don't know, a Sansista or, to I don't know what other Hindu, everything has to be from neck down. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you cannot initiate into multiple religions after you get crowned unless your Orisha gives you permission to do so. I'm closing my eyes because I'm also channeling with my Orisha. And this is
Mm-hmm.
something I want to remember to tell you guys. Any religion that comes after your crowning, you must throw obi and you must ask your head Orisha that you got crowned with. In my case, I ask Achosi, can I do this? Can I do that? And if I don't, that's when he gives me pow pow. So you have to always, after this, ask your Orisha if it's okay. Say, for example, you want to be a shaman or you have to ask your head Orisha. But if this is in your path
Mm-hmm.
to be a mambo or a hugan in voodoo or to be a sansista, you can have those branches or Wiccan or witch or whatever you're into, but make sure that this spirit walks with you, because it doesn't mean because all these different religions are coming up and they're so beautiful
The spirit
that it's
has to
all
be with you.
up.
But he said
It has to be part
King
of the
Saul
bloodline.
said I needed to hear that. You
Oh,
answered it. Yeah,
blessing.
he appreciated it. That's important. I have another.
You're
I'm going to give you
welcome.
this one as well. It says, are they
God bless you.
reincarnated? The Orishas. There she is. Sisterhood has it at $,
Oh, we
Shadow
have a
Wolf
football too.
777.
Thank you. Thank you. And to
They want to
and
know,
to
is there, and to the ones that want to know what, how does, what does ATR stand? It's African traditional religion. But
right.
they want to know, are they reincarnated? The Orishas, are they reincarnated?
Are the Orishas reincarnated? The Orishas, okay, so let's look at Angel Michael, Archangel Michael. He cannot be reincarnated, right?
Right.
But his children who are dear followers, who
Mm-hmm.
follow him, they could be reincarnated as human beings, but
Mm-hmm.
Orishas cannot be reincarnated. Now, let me give you an example. You may have a Francisca or
Mm-hmm.
Francisco. Let's go on a Madama or Francisca, and that Francisca is was a child of Yemaya, and she
Mm-hmm.
was crowned Yemaya. She's reincarnated through spiritual vessel to walk with you. So a lot of people have, so he can have Apostle Ile can have a Francisco or Madama that has 9 colors in her skirt, and she was once crowned Oya, and that's who's going to bring him to Ocha. This is very well of reincarnation. The Orishas give birth to different children. The Orisha is like, okay, Achosi is sitting up high in heaven in a high seat. Then he has his avatars going to earth. It's very hard to explain. Going to earth and making sure that his children get crowned. Oya, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't be duplicated. Akeem,
That's
bless you. I
beautiful.
love y'all all.
And
Bless
sister
you.
said he
Love
loved
y'all.
himself some Madrinas.
That is my baby. I always baby talking about like, look at my shamu. He be like, okay.
Asking to learn, so please do not think I'm being this. No,
Thank you,
King
my
Saul,
beautiful.
that's
He
important.
said.
This is
What he
why
said?
we're doing this platform because I feel like so many people don't have an
No,
opportunity
it's not.
to get
Uh-huh.
information, and so therefore the best way is for people that actually are in the religion to start speaking on certain things that you're actually hearing, and basically like old people say from the
Yes,
horse's
sir.
mouth. I
Thank
think
you.
this is very much needed. I want you
Thank
guys to also
you very much.
Shadow Wolf. I
And
have another question. Um,
no, it's not
and I
disrespect. No,
no,
it's
that's not disrespectful. We didn't find that disrespectful at all.
it's
It says
no,
how do Orishas have somebody said why does Orishas have multiple backstories?
bad stories or
Backstories like they when they're telling about how Ogun and Oya got together, and then somebody else might tell that it's basically the proverbs behind the
Oh,
storytelling.
but did they say bad or the
No, they
BAD?
said backstory. They didn't say bad. They just like why it's different.
Oh,
They tell different stories about the same Orisha.
oh, okay. So it's really called patakis, and these patakis that are passed on is through the mouth and the vessels of ancient souls that were once children of the Orishas, that once were crowned, that they pass on, like we're passing on information about Ogun and
Mm,
so forth. So because this is such an old ancient religion, it is passed on through chiefs and children and so forth. And these are what we call patakis. And there's definitely more than one pataki when it
mm,
comes to Orisha. Because remember, there are different paths, thank you, of Yemaya. There's different
mm,
paths of Ochun. There's different paths of Obatala. Okay, now Chango, some people, they say he has one path. Ochosi, one path. Oya, one path. So in those different paths of the Orisha, there's different patakis that follow. So my Obatala, for example, is Ayaguna. And Ayaguna is a very young Obatala. This particular Obatala, they went to Ayaguna and they asked him, they said, listen, we have sent Oya, we have sent Achosi, we have sent Ogun to stop these people from fighting in the village.
mm,
Ayaguna's energy like this. He said, I'll do it. And Olodumare said, you're going to stop all these people from fighting and killing each other? He goes, yes, send me, Father. So Ayagana goes to the village, and he is the Orisha that has a drop of blood, one color red in him with white. And he goes to the village and he comes back and he tells Olodumare, he bows to him. He goes, how did you get them to stop? He goes, well, they're all at peace. And he goes, well, how did you do that? Because all the Orishas tried. He said, I killed them all. Now they're at peace.
mm.
That's,
That that's your Obatala.
that's it.
You know
It's,
what? I have a misa to go to and get prepared for. But I
okay.
want to say to you, I thoroughly appreciate you coming, giving your time, your energy. You know I'm already looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, you and your husband and family. We're gonna have a
Yeah.
good time, but I make sure you bring your divination tool. Don't we're gonna have a little fun, but I'm gonna put you to work. Because there
Thank
are going to
you.
be some people that may need your skill set, your readings, and they have questions that we're gonna I'm gonna open my space for you to be able to do that with. And so we want you guys, if you're in my area and you want to visit my church service on tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Shadow
Yes.
Wolves and her husband will
Those
be
live.
there, and I am going to open
Yes.
my floor for her to be able to expound on the Orishas and also do readings in the church.
And
So,
you do readings too. And let me tell you, you gave me a lot of inspiration today because I was very, very depressed, and losing my padrino. And I know that
mm,
the tools and all the acheta you gave me, I'm beyond thankful because today was a very messed up day. And when I spoke to you, all of that pain that I was feeling,
mm,
knowing that physically here on earth, it just alleviated because you heard me, I was messed up
yeah,
a
but
lot.
you know what? I love you.
Thank you.
I mean, you have
Love you.
been a true friend to
And I
me.
love
You
you
have
all.
been
Yes.
consistent, even in distance. And I never had to pull a Shadow Wolf dagger out of my back. So you good with me.
Oh,
You've always been true to me.
thank you.
And we send love and light
Thank,
because
thank
her
you.
godfather did pass away. And we thank God for that. But somebody, hold on, I just seen something. I just get she is great in her. Yeah, she's really great in her reading. So you guys, my address is on my website. It's
Yes.
822 Fort
Thank
Pierce,
you.
Florida. She will be with us. And we're gonna make sure that she's well taken care of. So if you're gonna come, make sure you don't come there looking for something for nothing. Those that know how I rock and roll, I do not operate like that. We're gonna treat her right. She's a daughter of Ochosi, and she's going to be handled and treated as such. And her husband is going to be there with me. And we're going to have a great time and just giving you opportunities for all of you that may think she's able to identify the Orishas. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm going to get off of here. But yes, thank you so much. And guys, I'm going to be
Thank
posting
you.
this live. I have to wait till it uploads, but I'm going to be posting this live on my YouTube channel. And make sure you guys are following Shadow of Wolves. Please do yourself
Yes,
a favor.
Apostle, thank you. Yes.
Okay? And those you have not as of yet, make sure you cash app her because she gave a lot of her Ashade knowledge and wisdom. Somebody
He's
said
crown
they got
Prophet
have 25 years
Shango.
of
Yes.
Shango.
Cabio Sile. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. A child of Shango. Thank you. Guys are all amazing. All of you beautiful souls. Everybody that's
This is
here.
what needs to
Thank
happen.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I
This
mean,
needs to happen
energy is
because the reason
beautiful.
I'm saying that is because the more information that gets out here, especially those that do not speak Spanish, the foundation never changes, and people need more clarity when it comes to the Orishas
Thank you.
and how
You are
they are different between the Padrinos. I mean, not the between the Apollo spirits, and I think people just need to
right.
understand. Once again, could you explain to them of that the Orishas are beings of light?
Yes. Okay. The Orishas are angels.
They're not
They're
Apollo spirits. They're
angels.
not.
We do not, they are not Palo spirits. They don't have any kind of energy that is negative. So this is why, even as pure, for example, as say Odudua, okay, we have to have him covered in a high vessel with no profanity, no loud music. They're all pure. We do not do bad thing with Orisha. Orisha is beautiful. They are pure. They are angels. That's the blessing. That's the ashe.
Top line,
Ashe.
bottom line. So basically, you're being your crown chakra is being aligned with the heavenly angel of your
Yes, your
whoever
guardian angel.
claims your head. And the reason why you have to keep yourself clean and go through that process is because you're aligning yourself with the heavenly host, and you're
Yes,
becoming a
yes,
vessel or a
yes,
priest
yes.
or mouthpiece for that said
And this,
Orisha.
that's right. And this is why that throne is very, very sacred, because once we complete that process and we go inside of that throne is open to the heavens. And then the seventh day, when that throne gets taken down and closes, even a ceremony of that, because it's a portal. This is very serious and very sacred. This is
Mhm.
a portal of an alignment. That's how your Orisha recognizes you when you're in a tambor, and they recognize your Ori. And one more thing is, we cannot forget about Orisha Ori, because our Ori is our soul destiny. All the Orishas, when they were going through this Pataki and going back and forth with Ori, they couldn't take Ori down. Ori is in charge, because that is your crown and your soul chakra, and that is also an Orisha. Is Orisha Ori. And I pray to your Ori every day. Every day. This is why we do rogation, to feed our Ori. Because our Ori is our destiny that cleans our soul.
All right, y'all. Now y'all heard it, as they say, from the horse's mouth, from the queen herself.
And King.
My Aquarius. My Aquarius.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sagittarius.
so much for doing
Thank you,
this with me.
guys.
I know you had a busy day and an emotional day, but you took out the time to come in and share some very needed information with our viewers and those that'll be watching this later on. Guys, do not forget, if you can, Cash App Shadow of Wolves. It is greatly appreciated. She's a very humble soul, but I just feel like too many people take advantage of her. And so I'm going to be who I am and kind of and
I
get
know
stuff moving in her
Sagittarius
direction. So
fire.
her and her household can do a lot better. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Much love to you guys. Please
Much love to
follow
y'all.
her if
Much
you
love
have not. And also, she's on YouTube
to
as well.
y'all.
I and her are on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
we're
you
on
can follow and
YouTube.
subscribe to us
Yeah.
both. All
We
right,
need our
guys?
channel filled on YouTube, a little bit more people. Right? We need YouTube is not easy, man. Right?
No, 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 no.
Oh
That
God.
that is a fight. But we doing
Yeah.
good. We moving. We moving.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you
Blessings to
tomorrow. Get
all
you
and
some rest.
blessings.
Because I'm
I
gonna be
see you
working you.
tomorrow. Yes. Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Blessings.
guys.